Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV, and hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is the United Kingdom News and Culture. And joining me is my co-host, the wonderful, the lovely, the talented, the networking queen of the world, I have to say. It's Diann Floyd Boehm. Welcome to the show, Diann.
You're always so kind. Sometimes I don't know who you're talking about.
It's great to see you, and I know you're traveling, and thank you again for always making the time to do the shows. Tell our audience where you are today.
I'm in Houston, Texas, and welcome everybody. We're so happy you're at our show today. It's going to be great, and it is the rodeo, so I'm very excited.
Rodeo day, I love it. You'll have to take pictures and post them. That's something I always wanted to do. And joining us are our special correspondents. These two are legends, international broadcasters, royal commentators, royal photographers, and they're very busy with everything going on in the world. So I'm so glad that they are able to make it today. It is Helena Chard and Pelham Turner. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome.
I
feel like some hip hop to
We'll get y'all here one day.
Well, it's so nice of you guys to join us. I'm just so appreciative every time because I know how busy you are. I was saying backstage that I saw your show yesterday. It was completely top of the line. It was just so well produced and the content was amazing. And you two are just superstars. So thank you again for being here and joining us.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely. And that's why we work with you, Dr. Jacalyn, as well.
Absolutely.
And Diann, of course.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to spotlight you. And if you could just share with our audience where you're doing your show so people can watch.
Well, but basically, it goes out on several different platforms. It goes out on ALB UK TV. And so you can watch that live on albuktv.com. It goes out on satellite, which you wouldn't be able to see that, not unless you're living in Eastern Europe, which is really where the channel is focused upon. And you can also see it on ALB UK Facebook site as well. So we get a pretty good audience now, so I'm very pleased with that. And the actual Facebook site itself has just had 6 million views in the past few months, so it's really starting to catch on.
Wow!
Congratulations!
Woo! That is spectacular. So with everything going on in the world, I know that you're super busy and probably very tired. So if you want to just share a little bit with our audience about the news, I know we've got some clips that we're going to look at, but Helena, you were really focused as well as Ian on mental health, wellness, and giving people a voice and a platform to come forward. So just share a little bit more about that, if you would.
We do lots of different things. I mean, at the moment, obviously, I was just talking to Ian earlier, and I have a good friend who is fairly traumatized with what's going on at the moment. And I think it's indicative of a lot of people that are feeling absolutely, the anxiety is out of scale, really, with the war that's going on for Ukraine, and people are really dwelling on it. There are places that you can actually get help apart from speaking to everybody, your friends and various people. There's a great organisation called CALM, C-A-L-M, here in the UK that helps people with when they feel their anxiety is out of control. It's a really tough time, and I think we have to just really take stock, realize that we have to manage our media diet. I mean, obviously I do a lot of research. I know Ian does as well. We find ourselves watching the news and doing lots of things, and it does take its toll. It does. You have to take breaks. You have to do different things, even if you're just, I don't know, doing a little jump up and down indoors, or going for a quick walk if you can, just to shake yourself about, and not sit and watch news which unfortunately is fairly negative. Obviously the biggest story, Ukraine and Russia, absolutely terrible. We really feel for Ukraine, and the whole world is rooting for Ukraine. So we all just have to keep going, and this, as we've talked about it before, news 24/7, it tends to be quite negative. So it's so important. Positive news, happy news, feel good news, anything that gives a bit of a lift, because there is always news. That's so important to talk about during times of crisis. So that's where I am at. I don't know how you feel, Ian, about it.
I mean, this has really got to me, this Ukrainian thing. There's no two ways about it. I'm actually wearing a Ukrainian tie this afternoon.
You are?
Blue and yellow, just in support. And I think the reality at the moment, I haven't been sleeping well for the past few days. I mean, I've got to monitor this all the time because of the work that I do. And so, and I was finally talking to one of my friends whose parents are in this small village in Ukraine at the moment, and it might get cut off totally. And so she's worried, because at one stage she was hoping to bring her parents to Britain. There's been issues with that. To hear the anxiety in her voice over her parents and her sister as well, because if another bridge gets blown up, as could happen at the moment in her village area, then that's totally cut off. They can't get any food, they can't get anything in the way of supplies at all. And there is a lot going on in Britain right now, and I think it's very important. Both Helen and I are talking a lot about Ukraine at the moment, the values of Ukrainians, and obviously, as well as you saw from the show yesterday, we're very focused on really stating that there are war crimes going on now in Ukraine itself. And I think, what Putin has done, because, I've worked in Russia. I know the Russian people. This is not the Russian people. The Russian people are lovely. They really are. And what's being done in their name by Putin, President Biden was saying yesterday in a speech, at the very, very end, he went off message and said, let's go get him. And everybody in Britain cheered when they heard that.
Yeah, the State of the Union address, right, from last night. There's so many points that you just made that I'm not really sure where to start. But Helena, I just want to start with what you were saying about the mental health and that organization CALM. How can people reach out to them?
Well, actually, they're you just have to go online. I haven't got the details to hand, but there's actually lots of organisations. But CALM sprang to mind because it really does help people, when their anxiety is over the roof. It's a pretty good one, I would say, out of all the ones I know to contact. So I haven't got the details, but do look it up online. They're very easy to look up.
And I think there is no one as well that the Royals do, which is Heads Together.
Heads Together Royal Foundation, yeah. But to actually get help where you want to access quick help, whether it's a phone call, I think CALM's the best.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best one. But yeah, so I mean, but we have to. There is, as we say, there's always some sort of little nuggets of hope, and I think we're just. I don't know about everyone else, but I just feel so inspired with the camaraderie and the bravery of people, whether it's people living there, whether it's the amazing, President Zelensky and family, absolutely fabulous, and just people that are going out and, even in Russia, I mean, there's lots of people that are petitioning and putting their lives in danger. A personal friend of mine, Peter, has got connections with Poland. He's traveling out tomorrow. He's going to be working on the Polish border there, helping. They've got a temporary hospital there, and obviously they've got to keep the families, warm, and there's just so much going on. But I've got so much admiration for how strong people are, and it's at times like this when it's crisis that everyone comes together, and you can just feel the love and see the love, and that's what we must remember. I mean, the one thing that Putin's done, my goodness, well, he's done a lot of bad, but he's brought the West together, definitely. And, everyone's cheering. All of a sudden, the small little things that we've been thinking about. I mean, goodness me, Boris Johnson's paled into significance with the stupid Partygate and silly things like that. It's so silly when, it's almost like everyone's hugging each other. The world is hugging each other. And we just, it's just so hard because people know and can see what's going on. And with the Russian people, a lot of the everyday people, they're friends with the people in the UK. And, they're being lied to through their media. So I watched this documentary last night, and there was an elderly woman, and she was sat there and she was just talking about, my President Putin, he told us, he would never do this, he'd never bomb, he'd never have war, and he says that, and I believe him, he won't do it. And I know that she was an elderly woman, and obviously that's that generation, but that's what people think. And I think we sort of have to somehow hold hope that news will infiltrate, or people will start to stand up, especially the younger generation, and say, hang on, this isn't right, and revolt, sort of. I do think that will take a while, but that's really, what I'm hoping for, quicker rather than the years I think it probably will take. But there's lots of camaraderie. The royals as well, standing by Ukraine. Normally the royals wouldn't talk when it comes to a political situation, but I think this is far bigger than that. Prince Charles recently was commemorating the late David Arness, a great guy who unfortunately was attacked, and that was against his democracy and freedom. And Prince Charles was talking about it and compared it to the brutal events in the Ukraine, and was standing by Ukraine. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge as well. They know Zelensky. They visited recently, and they were absolutely impressed, one with the country, the enthusiasm of what they want to achieve, and everything like that. So it was more of a personal little note that was put out, but that's good. So that's really, really heartening. So the whole thing is the world stands in solidarity with the Ukraine.
I think it's important as well to recognise how we can help at the moment as well. The latest figures that we're getting in London is 860,000 refugees are now flowing across. 860,000 refugees are flooding across the borders right now. And so it's important for channels like yours as well in America, perhaps to sort of see how they can support what's going on. There are several global organizations like UNICEF who are really trying to look after Ukrainian children at the moment who are freezing, as we speak, who are starving as we speak as well because of this, and they're traumatized at the same time, having to leave their fathers behind because men are not allowed out of Ukraine, they have to fight. And so there's a lot of trauma going on at the moment. So any sort of organizations that where people across America are listening to today, can I ask them to try and contact any contacts that they've got for local Ukrainian organizations in the cities where they are, and even just basic things like nappies, like clothes, like some sort of tins of food, whatever it is. There's so much needed, and will be so much needed for such a long time now, to actually try and get to these people.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. And I almost feel like this pandemic happened in order to bring us all together to help one another for this, because the world was already so at odds at an individual level, community level, state level, country level. And now it's like we're all together. assisting each other, supporting one another. So it's just interesting how things work. But to your point, Ian, yes, we will spread the word. Actually, each show we will bring it up and ask people to reach out to their contacts. And I think we have a clip, don't we, for UNICEF?
Yeah,
Yes.
we do. That'd be good to share.
Please, yeah.
All right, let's take a look.
Меня зовут Маша, мне 9 лет, я живу в Красногоровке, у меня все хорошо. Кушать у нас есть, пить у нас есть, сахар у нас есть, все есть. Только дров не хватает. На буржуйке, когда у нас есть, вот эти мы дрова пособираем, закинем, оно горит. Например, в 10 запалили, в 11 закончили, вода нагрелась, и все, и мы купаемся.
В наш дом 4 было прямых попаданий, так что мы боимся. Человека даже осколками поранило, забрали в больницу с 6-го подъезда соседа, так что мы тоже боимся, у нас много деток. Деваться нам некуда, нас никто нигде не ждет.
Когда вырасти, я хочу найти работу такую, чтобы я помогала людям, которые бедные, там.
It's soul destroying, isn't it? Do you know what? You know, I'm a pretty hardened journalist. I've been doing it for 5 years. I've been in war zones, but I shed a tear when I see that.
Yeah.
I'm very choked up.
I think just also UNICEF is the world's leading organisation for children in danger, and it's in 190 countries. Obviously, they save lives, they're defending children's rights and helping children fulfil their potential. But one thing I think to say is, I mean, obviously there are other organisations as well, like the Red Cross and Save the Children. There are some very big reputable organisations, and it's quite important to say that if you're donating money or something like that, to be very careful who you're going to be donating money to, because these organisations are big, they're set up, it's done correctly, or so you hope. There are lots of ground level organisations that you maybe will be, giving clothes and things like that to, nappies, you name it, that will get it out to Poland. But just to be very, very careful, because as always, in times of strife, you will always get naughty people that want to take advantage. So to be aware.
Thank you so much for bringing that up, because unfortunately there are always unscrupulous people who want to take advantage at times like this. So are your thoughts that the best way for us to get involved is to reach out to organizations like UNICEF?
I think that's part of it, but you may very well find through your local news outlets as well, especially Poles, and there's a lot of people from Poland in America, New York, places like that, who I think will probably be organising transit shipments to Poland for Ukrainian people at the moment. And it can be the smallest thing, but it makes you feel as if you're doing something. And that's the most important thing of the lot, because I think a lot of the time at the moment, I've tried to speak out on all the different things, and Helena's done the same thing, and all the different shows that we do to actually get that message out there. And it's our way of doing something. When I was talking to my friend, and I get choked up, I listen to what she's saying, and she's a great friend of mine as well. And she feels as if life has passed her by just in a few days. So it is so important that we support these people right now.
Absolutely. So as of, to your knowledge, they're still able to get onto, depending where they are, onto a computer or a phone?
Yeah.
there's an organisation that you were talking about. Was it Elon Musk? Wasn't
Yes. I mean, there was last night. They bombed a major TV sort of station, but it's back up and running now. So TV's working. Luckily, phones are working as well. The internet was down for quite a while. In fact, it went down to something like 20%, and they obviously needed far stronger Wi-Fi in order to communicate. And Elon Musk, because we all know Elon Musk, lovely Elon Musk. He's, as we know, he's this eccentric business magnate, and he always makes develops these amazing sort of systems and things to inspire us, and different things, not just the everyday thing. But SpaceX has been setting up. It's called Starlink. It's his. It's now active in Ukraine. What it is really is a service which is dishes in the sky, which he's managed to beam down onto Ukraine. It's around 2,000 satellites, so now they've got Wi-Fi. It took him, I think, 24 hours to set it up, but he managed to do it. I mean, how amazing is that? And that's the kind of thing that he's a leader. He's got a platform. It's almost expected of him to do that. But everyone has to do their part. But amazing that he's achieved that. So I imagine without that. It's so clever, isn't it? Gosh,
so clever. It's incredible.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. I know we have another clip, and I didn't get to look at it, so I'm not sure where that comes in.
Well, we can just chat about. We've just got sort of general news and various bits and pieces. The one thing that I was thinking, obviously, Her Majesty the Queen. It's great to see that she's up working again, and we're pleased about that. And I've been reading all these different bits about her, but the one thing I noticed recently, obviously, it's her accession to the throne, 70 years. And I didn't realise that a lady called Dorothy Wilding, actually, she did the photographic shoot with her. It was Her Majesty the Queen's first sitting. So that was 70 years and 21 days ago. No.
Wow.
Yeah, 70 years, 21 days ago. The remarkable thing about Dorothy Wilding is that she was the first woman who was given the royal warrant to be a photographer, and she took the first pictures. And it wasn't so much to make her beautiful; it was to create an image that could be used on our coins, on our stamps. So it's that general look that we all remember the Queen for. And occasionally, I have to say, people almost, because sometimes that looks quite austere. That's what people think of her, that she's got this sort of, she doesn't smile and everything. But that was obviously for the coins. But it was lovely to see, to find out through a contact that it was a picture that had not been seen before. So it's just been released. I think you probably got the photograph. I have to say, it does look quite similar to pictures we've seen, but this is not one that's really been seen before, and it's just come out. This is just after, so you can imagine. I wonder what was going through her mind. She sat there having that done. I think normally we see her a little bit more profile for the stamps and coins, don't we? But
I think she looks very innocent, but yet she looks confident and sophisticated and up for the challenge. I think that's what I'm getting from the picture. Diann?
Yeah, extremely gorgeous woman. Her eyes, though, to me say it all. Like, I don't know what just happened to my life, but I am ready, and I am going to take care of our people. That's what I see.
Yeah.
And it's one of the hardest things to actually photograph, believe it or not. I had to do a story a while back when I think it was the Queen, William, Kate, and George, and they had to create a stamp for our post office system. And if it was just a millimetre out, the franking would go over the actual face of George. And so all these photographs have to be very, very precise, which is probably, you can't see it, probably got a clamp behind her head, making sure which is probably the look she's got on her face. Probably there's a slight look of fear on her face, as if I can't move.
It's amazing the experience that you two have had in your lives.
I think so. I mean, Helena's done a hell of a lot, in the way of raw photography as well. And I think she's got some iconic shots, and we're hoping to do our own royal project with a 5-star hotel in London in June as well. We're just putting that together at the moment. And I think
exciting.
it is, and I think it's important because, I take what Helena's saying, because she's quite right that we need to have positive news as well at the moment. I mean, it was the first day of meteorological spring yesterday. We wouldn't know it from our British weather, because I came in, I was rained on. It's about 4 degrees, and it's that blinding cold rain that gets to your bones this afternoon. So I was thawing out as we were waiting to come on.
Absolutely. I mean, as well, it was Shrove Tuesday yesterday, which is Pancake Day.
Yep.
So everyone was like making pancakes and, as families and enjoying that. So that's really lovely. And also St. David's Day, which is obviously everything Welsh. Being Welsh myself, slightly, on my mum's side. So that's always really, really good fun. And I do love Wales. I mean, there's lots of I don't know, history going back. So it's St. David's Day. So it's the patron of St. David. It's St. David the patron, isn't it, of Wales?
Oh,
so
Wales,
it's
yes.
Yeah. So lots and lots going on. In fact, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge were in Wales, in Abergavenny, which is where my mother was born, which actually I think is an old mining village. And they were there visiting young people and inspiring them. It's a wonderful organisation. I can't remember what it's called now, but the youths that met them, I mean, the person at the top, the chairwoman, was absolutely beside herself, because they were thrilled. They were so excited. And these young people were really quite challenged in lots of ways. And they just, she just said it just made, she thought their sort of worlds. They were just really excited, and they were there making pancakes with them and having fun and just doing general bits and pieces, and seeing goats, and goodness me, because obviously because there was a local cheese farm or something like that. But I love that's lovely sort of groundwork where you're just meeting, and they're both so wonderful. With every generation, they sort of manage to just chat and just make people so happy. So that's really, really lovely to see.
And I think there's that wonderful story in Wales about a village in Wales that has been overrun by naughty goats. And these goats, they live in the mountains above the village. But they now discovered a way, there's a route down into the village itself. And so every day they're rooting around the plants and pulling off washing off the line and trying to get anything that they can, and so they become the most naughtiest goats in the world at the moment.
I wonder if people practice goat yoga there. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I have heard of this.
Yeah, that's a great way to embrace the goats into the community.
How does that work? I can't think about it.
So the goats they're part of the yoga class, and they can just crawl all over you. And apparently I signed up to do it, and then I chickened out. But you get into the yoga pose, like downward facing dog, and then they just climb on you. They sit on you, and it supposedly makes you laugh, and you also have to counterbalance with the goats. I don't know.
I think I'd love that. I think that's
we are not having goats in here.
Do you practice yoga, Helena?
I don't. I wish, that's something I should do. I know that it's something you do, Dr. Jack, and I remember seeing that you were doing some kind of class, and I thought, should I? I just feel I am the most unsupple person when it comes to that kind of thing, which is probably why I should do it.
Well, it's good for all of us, because as we get older, we get more frail, and if we fall, then it could be life-changing. So you keep your joints limber, you stretch out your muscles, and I think mentally what it does for you also is just incredible. And you guys are John Christian, right?
Yeah.
Well, we did it.
Sorry, no, he's not a friend actually, but no, yes, we know of him.
you know of it. We had a show with him on yesterday, and he's an entertainer, but he's also like a master yogi and a master business coach, and he combines them together really to help people get out of the way of themselves so that they can be open to receive new opportunities.
Very good. Ooh.
He's very inspiring.
Yes, he is. He's good looking too, but that's another story.
I remember this. I had deja vu. Doesn't he look a little bit like Richard Gere, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, definitely. So a question I have about good news. We had Victoria here, and she has the Good News show. I know she's performing now, so I don't know if it's still going on, but how do you keep yourself, especially when you're reporting on stories of this magnitude that have global implications and people look to you as the experts? How do you keep yourself from sinking into a low place mentally when you're bringing across information that's so overwhelming?
Well, I think I mentioned it slightly earlier. You sort of have to manage your media diet. So despite research, which I personally do for 24/7, you just have to be quite rigid in realizing, okay, I've got to take a break. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to get the wind through my hair. I'm going to get my heart racing. It's very easy just to sit and, especially if you've got a project that you've got to work on and you've got a deadline, it's very easy to keep going. But that's not a good way forward. And it's something that I suppose with age comes experience. And it's something as well that you can pass on to the younger generation, because really it's simplicity in a way. That's how I work. It works for me anyway.
Do you just a quick question. Do you sort of separate yourself from the work? And what I mean by this is I'm a coach. And when I first started coaching people, I would be like sobbing when they were telling me their story. And I'm thinking, I am not helping them at all, because I need to actually bring it back in and just listen as opposed to getting emotionally engaged. So do you do that also? Do you turn off that emotional engagement switch?
I personally, depending on what you're doing, because I understand what you're saying, because if you're doing a one-to-one with someone like that, there is a way of you have to cut off slightly. But normally within my work, I tend not to. So, if I feel upset, I'm upset. But what I do with myself is I take myself off and find joy somewhere else. So I love I love being in nature, and I love taking photographs. So whether it's 15 minutes, I'll always find something that inspires me in simple things, and that's how I make things work.
I think it's important that I think both of us embrace what's going on right now, and I think for myself, I handle it differently from Helena, I think, and so what I look at then is how to be proactive, and I know Helena's proactive as well.
I was going to say, where are you going with this?
But I think we handle it in different ways, and I think Helena is very proactive in supporting people. She's talking to her friend who's going off to Poland tomorrow, so she's proactive in that way. And I think with me, I tend to be more. How can I actually get the message out like we're doing today, like I've done for the past few days on other shows as well. So, and that way I feel like I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And I think, with the show that we did yesterday, I think we both felt afterwards better for doing that show. And the same today.
Well, it's a general thing, and it's well known that to give back or to give out is feel good for the person that's doing it. So it's a win-win situation. So it's exactly what you said, and the ideal thing to do. And yeah, we do it, so it's good.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Diann, anything you want to add or ask?
I commend you for going to Poland and helping, and I definitely am such a proactive person. So the world is blessed that you two are there doing your part and sharing and telling us how we can do. America's, we're so far away, but yet we're engaged. At least I like to think many of us are, in finding ways that we can assist, and you've given us more ideas. So thank you so much.
And I think as well with Diann, with obviously you're a children's writer as well, and you will appreciate perhaps even some books or anything at all that can be sent over, because these kids are traumatized now. And any way that you can actually sort of look at as well to support these children, I think again is important. There's books being made at the moment that are sort of trying to explain to children. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's been happening at the moment is because obviously parents in Britain are being asked by their children what is happening. And obviously parents don't want to upset their children, but they don't want to tell them lies or sugarcoat something at the same time. And so I think it's very important, especially for writers like you, Diann, as well, to look at, perhaps a book in the future is How to Overcome Trauma, if you haven't written one already for children.
I have not. I'm such a rose-colored glass person that I'm always trying to create a world where they can find happiness and love. But you make a very good point, and maybe off camera we can talk about sometime. I can maybe put together a group of authors and send books over there. I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah.
I know in other war-torn countries and in the camps, because obviously it takes a while to. The help in the camps is very important, and at the borders of Poland it is at the moment. But there will be like people going out that will be entertaining the children as well. That tends to happen. People that are, and it's so heartening. I can't think of the organisations now, but they've done it in the past, and they literally go around. They play with the children. They do interactive puppetry, and you name it. And obviously you don't even have to say, but you can imagine how lovely that is for the children and for the parents or the mothers, because it tends to be mothers and children.
I think as well, perhaps another method is talk to the American Airlines going into Poland right now as well, because a lot of them will be doing free freight to go into actually for emergency aid as well at the same time. And Diann, you're quite right. I remember a time when I was going through a very hard situation in Romania, and the children of Romania and Bucharest were being shot by Ceausescu at that time, the street children, and I had to go out to do an investigation on that happening. And we went to orphanages, and the simplest things like crayons or pencils, like colouring books, anything. They didn't have anything at all. And really, the thing you have to sort of look at the moment is these kids coming out of Ukraine. They haven't been able to take toys with them or anything, or books or anything at all. And anything that sort of takes their minds off what's happening at the moment has got to be good. So I would encourage you, if you can, it is to talk to other authors and perhaps even contact an airline, even just a few books. You would not believe how much difference that can make.
I will get on it. Thank you. When things happened in Syria a while back, if you recall, I was in Dubai, and a group of us we put together and had delivered. We couldn't hand deliver it, but we put together a group to make sure that jump ropes and blankets were huge, made it to the camps and to the children. And people were like, jump ropes, so you have to do something to make the kids happy. And in Cuba at one time we helped with what you said, crayons, and for the teachers, chalk. So basic things that can bring a smile are just as important, right?
And I think that's how Helen and I would really try to create emphasis across America today, is you can do your part. It can be as simple as a message or a teddy bear or anything at all. You can do your part, and perhaps contacting airlines as well, that you may find there is a collective method of actually freighting all this up and sending it across at the same time. Because I quite agree, the United States is far away, but it's not. We could soon be involved in all sorts of situations.
Yes.
So I think it's very important right now that America as well, and I know American support, but Americans, grass seed Americans as well, seem to do their bit at the same time.
Amen.
Absolutely. And we have the Duke 2022. Is that something we want to share today?
Yeah, so we have a darling, I suppose, Helen Mirren. Dame Helen Mirren, I think, isn't it? She's a very well-known actress over here. I think you probably know her.
She's very well known.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. I think she even played the Queen in 2006. So yeah, of course, you would know. She's now 76, and she has been recently given a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, which I think were the other day, which you may have seen.
I did.
In Santa Monica. She made a funny little speech that she wasn't too sure about receiving it from SAG.
Yeah.
We happy with herself, which I thought was quite funny. And there's always madness about her hairband and everything, but she's a great actress, and she so well deserves it. But I just thought it would be fun as well, because we always have to have a little bit of light in the dark. There is a fabulous movie out, and it's out now, and it's at the local cinema. We should all go and see it. I don't know if it's in the States. And she is in it. She plays the wife of, I think it's Dorothy Bunton. She is, and her husband is Kempton Bunton. It's a movie set in 1961, and it's a really funny everyday thing. Well, it's not everyday. They're everyday people. He does something ridiculous. 60-year-old taxi driver. We have a clip that we can show. It's very funny, but I sort of feel it sort of has a feel of today and how the people think. I think it'd be very, very fun to show it. It's actually an uplifting story, and he is a very good man that sets out to do good and change the world, but maybe he did it not quite the right way. So let's play it.
Okay.
Just think about it. It's Dame Helen Mirren and Jim Broadbent.
Yeah, I think it's a true story.
It is. It's a true story.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Let's
Just
take a look.
Like Brits at work.
Yeah, that's very British, I have to say, yeah.
Every time someone gets cut off from the rest of us, this country becomes a foot shorter. All my life I've looked out for other people and got into trouble for it. But I had faith. Not in God, but...
For those unfamiliar with court proceedings, that was the plea, not the verdict.
Wow, I can't wait to see it.
She looks amazing. It's incredible to me how many people are needed to make a movie, isn't it?
I just think it's lovely. She was really worried about playing that role, just being made to look like a little housewife. She was slightly worried because it wasn't a particularly glamorous role, but I think it's a fabulous role. I just think it's brilliant. I think he did actually go to prison for not paying his TV license. He was so strong that he didn't think he should pay it. I think he went to prison for 13 months, if I remember correctly. But it's about changing the world, isn't it? And the interesting thing is, I know what he did. If you think about it, maybe wasn't the right way of doing it, but he certainly got the attention. But it's about that one person standing up and just, deciding something and just going ahead and doing it. And if we all just did that and had, conviction in what we felt was right, and it's about movers and shakers, isn't it? Getting things done. I just think it's great. I look forward to seeing it, and it's on right now here. So hopefully it'll be with you soon.
I look forward to it as well. I'm definitely going to see that.
Definitely here too. But you're right, movers and shakers. And, one of the things I regret growing up is that I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you're taught to be a perfect lady, proper, and I fell in love with Jacalyn Kennedy. So it was just like how she dressed, how she spoke, everything. I just loved her. And now I realize I needed to do stand up more and not be so much of a lady in order to make change. And so I have such admiration for people like you two who are making sure people know the world and understand it and get out there and do things. So I fell short, I guess.
No.
I think that the reality is because Helen and I do so much work like this, it's finding the practical ways of creating support, which is what we're used to actually looking at and doing as well. And so sort of, with all the areas, and I imagine more and more people that, I mean, we will be seeing, I think, something like about 200,000 refugees, Ukrainian refugees, coming to Britain soon. And they will be traumatized as well because of what has happened. And so the organizations that Helena supports more than anything, the mental health ones, they're going to be needed more than ever.
But we can all do something. It doesn't matter how old we are. And as you say, Diann, you felt maybe you should have been, done bits more when you were younger. But it's just life, isn't it? But you can then decide, okay, I'm going to change, I'm going to do this. But everyone can do it. It doesn't matter how old you are.
That's true.
Exactly. Something that I just want to share. I'm very involved with the Crohn's Colitis Foundation. And when times are very stressful and over the top like they are now, that's when people's disease starts to flare up again. And imagine being in a situation where you don't even know where you're going to be from 1 minute to the next, let alone whether or not you can get to a bathroom, which I hate to say, but that's true. So I'm going to check with our organization and see what we're doing to help over there as well.
I think, and you see, it's just when you start thinking about it, I get it. I mean, in some ways, I think Britain feels detached, because obviously we're not going to. NATO is not going to go in to Ukraine, and so we do feel detached in one way. But from a human being point of view, we can just look at very, very simple things. Just to create just a little piece of happiness, and that can change someone's life. That can give people hope, and that's what I think we've got to give to Ukraine now.
Absolutely. And I don't know how you feel about it, but we can certainly play that clip on every show for UNICEF if you would like.
Yeah, I think it would be great, and I think it is. I saw it the other day, and a lot came in my throat.
Yeah. It's very short, but it's just very impactful. So I think it is a good one to play. It's simple, isn't it?
It is.
It's very impactful when you look at where they're living and that had been hit by, I don't know if what something hit their dwelling, and you see how they're living. They have no heat and they only have 1 hour where they can have hot water. I mean, it's just horrible.
And that was then, goodness knows what it's like right now.
Right, exactly.
A few days ago, I don't know how long ago it was, but goodness me. But yes, it would be great to play it.
I think you've got a great station now. Jacalyn, you've got a great station, the two of you, and you should be proud of being able to actually put those types of messages out as well. It makes so much difference.
Well, thank you to both of you for being here today and for sharing that clip and for giving us additional perspectives about what's going on, because we don't always know. I mean, I look at two different news outlets. I'm not going to say their names, but they're opposites, complete opposites.
I have a feeling I know.
And it's unbelievable. I mean, it's all just like negative. Like you finish reading or watching, you feel sick, like you can't even take any more. And to think that you two are, this is a big part of your life every day. I just have so much respect for you for delivering what you're delivering, the way you show up all the time. You're just so professional, and yet you're always leading with your hearts too.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate that, and obviously the same for you. Your platform's wonderful, and it's a little bit of, as Ian just mentioned, hope. Everyone needs hope, and I think you've got so many different shows now, Dr. Jacalyn, that anyone can just tune in to what they feel like they want to hear whenever they want to, which is great. I mean, how amazing is that to be able to do that? I mean, that's a real gift, and it's lovely for people to be able to do so. Thank you as well.
Well, thank you all. And thank you to Diann, who's such a big supporter and has a million fabulous ideas. I get one message after another with ideas that she has. And I wish I had a staff of people. I could say, execute to get this done.
Thank you.
But thank you. And again, to Helen and Ian, you guys saw something in me from the very beginning, and that's a big reason why we are here today. So thank you.
I think you're an amazing lady. All three of you.
Right, you don't have to talk about me.
If I don't, my goodness, no, I joke. But it is important, and Helena knows as well, I support female causes as well. And look at what the three of you are achieving with your lives, and what you're actually doing to make the world a better place. And that is womanhood.
I'm
I
going to
love
start
that.
crying.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we go, I have to ask, as I always do, what do we have for the picnic today?
Wow.
He's already started on the picnic.
Oh, you have to say that. Listen, when you've battled through cold, rain.
I have to say, when you're exhausted and it is raining,
So I had a few potato chips.
You love your chips.
Oh, I love the chips, and we have. Simon will be so pleased. We're supporting the Scottish smoked salmon industry, so we have smoked salmon sandwiches afterwards. We will have a nice cup of tea as well.
We will.
They're very English.
I love it. I love it.
Sounds wonderful.
Just a thought, because it's something that I heard today. So, I mean, you may know this already, and I know some of it, to be quite honest. But yogurt, as in natural yogurt, like Greek yogurt, it have to be, but natural yogurt, as in not sweet, fruity things. Yogurt, walnuts, and hibiscus tea. Apparently, if we have those every day, we will have the perfect blood pressure. Not everyone's got low or high blood pressure, I understand, but they're supposed to be brilliant. And something's come out literally today. So there we go. Yogurts, walnuts, and hibiscus tea. Woo!
I've never heard of yogurt tea. Have you, Diann?
No, she's in yogurt separately with.
Oh, I was like, yogurt tea. Okay, I don't know.
No, yogurt, and then walnuts is in the nut,
Okay.
and hibiscus tea separate. Yeah,
That's the trifecta of low blood pressure, which I need. I've been on blood pressure medicine for a long time, and I would like to just finally get rid of it. I keep going down in the dosage, but still, it would be nice. So I'll give that a try.
yeah.
I find working with Helena keeps my blood pressure down.
That's a compliment. Who keeps your blood pressure even? That's a compliment.
Definitely. So Helena and Ian, I already know your answer, but Helena, for people who want to reach out, I'm going to put your email, but what's the best way for people to contact you?
Well, there's going to be a new way soon. There will be a new way soon, but for the moment, obviously social media, my name, Helena Chard, CHARD, on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and just my general Gmail account, which is hcpresenter@gmail.com. I will have a new contact details shortly.
All right. Thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure to see you both. Again, I have so much fun with you, and
Yes.
I have the utmost respect for both of you and just in who you are and what you're doing and what you're bringing to this platform and what you give to the world. So thank you.
Okay, have a great afternoon, guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Happy picnic.
Bye.
Next show.
Okay. Diann, what's the best way for people to reach you, and who should reach out to you?
Anyone who enjoys reading books, whether it's children's books or young adults, historical fiction, you can reach me at Diann Boehm, DIANN FLOYD BOEHM, DiannFloydBoehm.com. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn.
Thank you, Diann. And we'll be right back with fashion, travel, and fitness.
Yes,
and
we will.
Your special guest. Where's she joining us from today?
Greece.
Greece. Okay. I look forward to that. Thank you again, Diann.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you to all of you who are watching our shows, whether you watch on the live or the replay. We certainly appreciate it. I know I do deeply from my heart. And you can continue to watch our program. You don't have to go anywhere else. I'm going to change studios along with Diann, and we'll be right back. So if you're watching on our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, please do go ahead, click and subscribe. And you can also watch our shows on our website, which is usaglobaltv.com. Thank you again for being here. We'll be right back momentarily, and we will have our show. And following that, we have the Business Talk Show. And then after that, we have 2 episodes of Talking Heads. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.